Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. I'm your host, as always, Andy Bernstein. So great to catch up with our guest on this episode, the great Xavier McDaniel, the X-Man. He was the fourth pick in the 1985 draft, extremely skilled and a much underrated shooter. He played in an era of the NBA which was very, very physical, and X-Man was perfectly suited for that style of play. We talk about the evolution of style of play in the NBA, and X-Man definitely has some strong opinions on how and why things have changed so much, especially when it comes to the three-point shot. I used to love going to Seattle to shoot the Sonics back in the day. We talk about that on this episode and how we'd both love to see the city of Seattle have a new NBA franchise one day soon. So cool to see X-Man show up for this interview in a vintage Sonics shirt. X also talked a lot about so many teammates he played with during his 14-year NBA career. I echo his sentiments about missing the camaraderie more than the actual playing the game now that he's retired. Really engaging conversation with one of the NBA's most engaging personalities. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, I'll see you on the backside. Well, I got a really special guest here, Xavier McDaniel. Thank you so much, man, for coming on the Legends of Sport podcast here at Summer League.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping the X-Man alive.
Yeah, X-Man. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, man, but you were one of my favorite guys to shoot.
Thank you.
I mean, I went up to Seattle a bunch of times, of course, but when you'd come in L.A. and those matchups between the Sonics and Lakers, and then, of course, you went to New York and you in Boston and Phoenix. But, man, you were a blast to shoot, so I have to thank you for that.
Well, thank you for having me here, too.
Thank you, man. So, X-Man, let's talk a little bit about the difference between the NBA then and now, okay? Back then, it was a pretty physical league. I mean, it's safe to say, guys played hard, and there were hard fouls, and a lot of those fouls didn't get called.
Right.
Now we're talking about, I touch you, that might be a flagrant.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Because you were a physical player. You had a great finesse, of course. You had great skills. But, your bedrock of talent was really around playing physical. Right. Yeah.
I mean, the game has just evolved. Think about my era. Very few guys were making $1 million in 1985-86 season.
Right.
It's only a few guys.
Yeah.
Today, guys are making 50, 60, and then you're looking at Luka and some other guys that's probably going to be in the high 80 millions.
Yeah,
so you got to protect the product.
True.
You don't want the product to get hurt.
That's a good
so
point.
When I look at the era I played in, I just look at it that was the culture back then.
Right.
And then I look at this era, this is the way the culture now. Mm-hmm. People always ask me, well, could LeBron or any of these guys play? I always say, if you can play in the NBA at any time, you can play in the NBA, period.
That's a great point.
Because it's all about adjustments.
Yeah.
When I got to the league, most guys like Roy Henson, they were long and lean, Larry Nance type players. Yeah. And you got the Dominique Wilkins, the James Worthy, the Greyhound guys.
Right.
Then you got the guys like Larry Bird that wasn't fast but could shoot the lights out of it. Scott Webber, people probably don't talk about that, could shoot it too. Yeah. So I think people look at that and say, oh, if this couldn't play, we couldn't play with them. Yeah. If you played at any time in the NBA, you could play, period. Yeah. So it's about adjustments. And these guys today, they're bigger, they're stronger, they jump way higher. And the only problem is I think they may not have that toughness that we had, because you get hit. I'm not laying on the floor. I'm jumping up. But I know today you get hit, you lay on the floor. People talk about LeBron. Yeah. I'm like, he laying on the floor because he wanted to go to the camera. So you go to the camera, okay, flagrant 2, you out. Yeah. My motto, Nate McMillan used to always say, get up, Big X, get up, Big X. And so it's a total different way of playing. Yeah. The game is where we ran more sets. I mean, there were some isolations where if you're playing against a guy like Adrian Dantley and he's scoring, they may run that play 30 times. So you're going to have to, either he's going to score or you got to double him. Yeah. You got to make him do something besides take your guy one-on-one. Yeah. So in today's game, it's drive and kick and shoot the open three. We ran Hulk sets and we ran UCLA cuts. So it's a lot different.
Right.
So these guys today, man, I think it's extraordinary the way they play.
Yeah.
Now, do I always like it? No, because people always say shoot the three. But let's say I'm up 12 with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Now, why would I be shooting threes the way they continue to shoot them? I'm looking like, okay, we up 12. And give you a big example, the Houston Rockets against the Warriors when James Harden, they kept shooting the three and he kept missing.
Yeah, yeah.
But if they go to the hole, they probably would have won that game.
I think you're
so
absolutely right.
I don't say don't shoot the three, but I'm saying at some point you got to have an understanding of the game to say, hey, we up 12 with 3 minutes to go. Every shot doesn't have to be from the three. We're going to shoot the three. Let it be a good three.
Yeah.
They would shoot a contesting three. You could be up 4 and they would shoot a three and there's 50-something seconds left.
Yeah. No, you're right. The three back in your day was like an option.
Right.
It was like, it was like third or fourth option.
Right.
Throw it out to the guy in the corner, shoot a three. Now it's become the rule almost. Look at the Warriors. Like Steph Curry literally changed the entire culture of the inside-out game, right?
Right. You got Steph Curry. You got Klay Thompson. Boy, those are pretty good shooters.
Yeah.
Now,
but you had good shooters in your day, man.
No, but I'm saying,
Dale Ellis. You had all those guys who could shoot.
But I'm saying if I got a Dale Ellis and a Larry Bird, I'm going to shoot a lot of threes too.
Yeah.
But the three was always considered a bad shot. And the option is when you really need, and you down by maybe 9, and it's 2 minutes and something left, you try to sneak that three in right then and there.
Right.
And so you're talking about somebody like Dale Ellis. I don't know. I know one time I think he may have made 9 threes.
He
and that was like everybody like, wow. Yeah. You're going crazy. Today they're taking 9 attempts.
Oh. Yeah, before the first time out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little different game, but and I understand what the analytics saying because also 4 is greater than 3. So yes, if you make more threes,
that's a good point.
So you make more threes, you're probably going to win, but that don't necessarily mean you're going to win. I think that when you get in a certain part of the game, it's the best available shot. People want to look at guys.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, but I just think that if I'm out there, I'm looking at we need to take this inside, and the game is now outside, and you see guys get rebounds and kick them back out.
Yeah, and that's the thing that sort of sticks in my craw a little bit is that, the great centers of your day, Parrish, Kareem, Artis Gilmore when I first started, all those guys, and it's just, with Wemby now, at least it's coming back in the inside. But here's a 7'5" guy. The first points he ever scored were a 3 from the outside. So it's just a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, he's I'm gonna say a better version of Ralph Sampson. That's what Ralph was doing.
That's
what he was trying to do.
They wouldn't let
That's
him
what he
do
was
it.
trying to do. Be that all-around player.
That's
but
right.
Hey, you're 7'4". You need to be on the inside.
Yeah.
You score all the baskets.
Yeah.
When you're down low and you're missing them, and now it's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. It's funny because Ralph told a story on the podcast that he once brought the ball up. Coach called timeout, pulled him out. Said, "You're a big guy. You don't bring the ball up the court."
Well, I'm 6'7" in high school, and that happened to me.
Oh, really?
Coach said, "Oh no, give it to the guard."
That's
so
funny.
I mean, that's just where the culture was, and Ralph is a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
So we're in that same time frame of basketball. So things have changed so much.
Yeah.
And the game is supposed to evolve, and the game is supposed to get better.
Yeah.
But I still would like to see some grinding. You don't see the guys like Oakley.
Yeah.
You don't see the guys like Barkley. You don't see the guys like Carmelo. They down in there getting dirty, or including myself trying to battle them big old jokers.
Oh yeah.
So
and Magic Johnson and all those other guys.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the way the game is, I still say is exciting. Basketball.
Sure.
If you're a basketball player, you're a great athlete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the game is still entertaining. It's just that I don't know what their thinking is with the threes.
Yeah.
And unless I'm in that locker room, I would have to, because I'm not even a coach, but I know I'm up 12 with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So why would I keep jacking threes? early in the shot clock.
Yeah, that's the other point.
That's the part I don't understand.
No, I get you, man. Hey, you played with some great teammates. I mean, we can't even list them all. Two that come to mind, of course, Gary Payton, one of the greatest, the glove. You guys on the court together were like lethal, you know. You played with Patrick Ewing. Two different, two different dudes, of course. Do you have a favorite teammate, somebody who was the most influential on your career of all the years you played?
I would say, Nate McMillan was a guy that I used to like with the music come out, because I know the point guard. I always got to take care of your point guard. I would always make sure he had the latest music.
That's funny.
Anything. We go out to eat. Hey, Mac, I got you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as it's been so many great players, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be here all day, but, like, Al Wood, Gerald Henderson.
Yeah.
Gerald Henderson.
Sure.
Yeah, in
Boston.
Seattle. And then me and Tommy Chambers.
Yeah, and you guys played together twice, right?
Phoenix and Phoenix, right. Great guy, Hornacek, Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
New York, Patrick, Mark, Gerald, Mace. We all had a good relationship with each other. Then going to Boston, Sherman Douglas, Kevin Gamble, late Reggie Lewis, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a great time. D. Brown, Rick Fox.
Yeah.
And then even going to New Jersey, Ken McGill, Robert Pack, Sam Cassell.
Yeah, you got a great memory.
So we had a lot of players, man, that I was cool with and that I enjoyed playing with.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we could be here all day. But just to name some of them, those are some of the guys. But, I mean, I have fun. John Lucas, I just talked with him the other day.
The best. Love that guy.
I used to call him. We used to call John Lucas Little Garbage, call Alan Lister Big Garbage. Now, ask me why.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think
there's got to be a story behind that.
I think Maurice Lucas came up with
that.
That's
hilarious.
Somebody came up with that.
Yeah.
But,
That's funny.
It's just so many people, man, that have an influence on your career, man, that it's hard to thank everybody. But, when you got that brotherhood and you're out there playing, man, after people ask me, do I miss basketball? I said, I don't always miss basketball, but what I miss is being in that locker room and going to war with these guys and at the end of the night saying, hey, we did a pretty good job. We fell short.
Yeah.
That's what I miss more, being in that locker room with them and having that camaraderie with the guys and stuff.
Absolutely.
And when you see them, man, it's like it's nothing but love, man. And that's what I miss. A lot of people say, oh, you don't miss the pay? I said, well, not really, because I can't play no more. How can you – my grandma always told me so, how you can miss something that you never had. So I never had a $40 million contract, so how could I miss it? So
that's a good point.
I just try to, pay homage to these guys that I played with. And there's some other guys like Kevin Williams, Danny Young.
Yeah, so many, man.
So many guys we played with.
Yeah.
Russ Shaney, who – I seen this weekend, this week, with the Retired Players Association. There's so many guys. High school teammate Tyrone Corbin. Yeah. So it's been a great week.
Oh, that's
and,
great.
I look forward to next year.
All right. Well, the last thing I want to ask you, next to the last thing, that you played for the great Pat Riley, who was so instrumental in my career as a young photographer, because Pat kept a very tight locker room, as you remember, and it took me a long time to kind of break through that. And convince them that I was okay to let in, and you talk about, somebody who was able to kind of band the brothers together. He was able to do that. Oh, right? You got any Pat Riley stories? There's one story you could share?
Well, I would think the biggest story that I probably would have is when I got to New York, me and Oakley had got in a fight a couple years earlier.
That's right.
And
that was a hell of a fight, by the way.
Hey, today that is 10-game suspension or more.
Or more.
And millions of dollars in fines.
Yeah.
We both got 1-game suspension and $7,500. That was it. So,
really?
Yes.
That's hilarious. But that was money back then.
Yeah, but we was in South Carolina, Charleston. That's where we used to go practice.
Yeah.
And after practice, like they got the TV. I'm like, it's chow time now.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm tired. We don't been going like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And Rouse, he likes to get up and do his little speech.
Sure.
And he said, well, I want to show you guys something. And I'm just like this right here. Oh, my. He's showing the fight of me in Oakland.
No way. Oh.
The entire fight, and then he was like,
You're looking at Okie, he's looking at you. Like.
And then he was like, now we fight together, man. And it was just something to bring us together to say, hey, you know, and plus New York been not having real good years.
Yeah.
You know, when Patrick was there, Patrick been hurt.
Yeah.
They hadn't been getting it. They got Mark Jackson. They got Ross Strickland. And things were just up and down. And Riley was that guy that was supposed to come in and direct that around. And he did that. He did that. Unfortunately, I just wasn't able to see it through because of the contract issues that I had.
Yeah.
And I wound up going to Boston. But as far as the X and O guy, man, I mean, he knows his shit.
Oh,
I'm just going to keep it honest. He knows his stuff.
Absolutely, man.
And I got a lot of respect for him.
And you know where you stand with Riles, too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Schenectady guy, no frills.
Even when I went to Boston, we still talked a little bit. I can call him right now. He may not answer, but I'll get a call within 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a
and
wonderful
so
thing.
I give respect for that, even though where things went down with us.
Yeah.
And, you know, he even apologized because everybody in New York think I just walked out on New York. But it's hard when you're waiting on a contract.
Yeah, of course.
You sitting there, it's July 1, it's September 1 now. I still ain't got a contract.
Right, and wasn't it Patrick who told you, you know what, you got to go take care of yourself. Right, and you went to Boston.
Yep,
right?
And that's how I signed with Boston.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, last thing, my friend, and it's a big thing. When are the Sonics coming back? I miss going to Seattle.
You see, I got the shirt on.
I hear you,
I
man.
got the shirt
that
on.
is vintage.
Yes.
But this is going to be the new Sonics logo, I hope, one day, right?
I hope so,
we
too.
All
but
hope that.
I really hope that I really, truly believe that Las Vegas will get that first team, first choice.
Yeah.
And we one of the choices. And I'm hoping Seattle. I mean, I've been hearing Kansas City. I've been hearing Vancouver. I've also heard Mexico City. So I am hoping that the Sonics get their team. And
well, the arena's been completely redone. You know, the Seattle Storm play there, the Kraken play there. The arena's beautiful now.
Yes.
I mean, you played in there. It was basically a glorified high school gym almost.
Yeah, we had a rain out in there against, I think, the Phoenix Suns one year.
Yeah.
Where the water was dripping. We had to cancel the game out and replay it later.
Yeah.
So
even during the finals, I remember going in there and it had that crazy metal ceiling. It was just bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get that team, man.
Yeah.
And Seattle, I think, rightfully deserves a team. You know, I don't want to blame it on David Stern. I don't want to blame it on county council, city council.
Yeah.
That part is over with. I think now let's bring the Sonics back. And I promise you, they bring them back, oh, man, Sonic Boom will be raising hell again.
It's going to be insane.
Yes.
Hey, promise, last thing. Who's your favorite player to watch right now? Like, if you know the player's playing in the game tonight or whatever on TV, you're going to definitely tune in. Who do you love watching?
I would say Seattle people may not like this, but Shai Alexander is a very good player.
All right.
He's one of the guys I like. And I really like Kyrie Irving, man. He's a real wizard.
He is.
I mean, he should ask Walt Frazier for that name, the Wizard. And so
you know what? He's very reminiscent of Walt Frazier.
I really like him playing.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, everybody gotta like LeBron. I mean, you're 40 years old.
It's insane, man.
You know, I like to know what juice he on. So, God, dog, man.
It's working.
Dunked one, I was like, holy crap. You see how high he was at 40?
Yeah.
But, I mean,
and the
just
way he
to
takes
name
care
a few,
of
there's some more players out there. But,
yeah.
I mean, Brunson, watch how he's grown as a player.
Yes.
Also,
man,
just, you know, looking at some of the talent that's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, each era want to kill each other. That's not who I am because I respect the 70s. I respect my 90s, 2000, 2010 on until the future, man. And what I like is that everybody got to realize that we all had a part of growing this league to the point that it's global now.
Yes.
And we should all just respect each other.
Yeah.
You know, we battle, we fight while we out there. And there going to be some things that happen, but at the end of the day, when you get 60, you appreciate it more.
Yeah, there you go. Well, perfectly said, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you.
So great to see you again.
All right, okay.
It's been too long.
Right.
But it's great to see you. Thank you for coming.
All right.
So great catching up with the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, for this week's episode. Thanks, folks, for tuning in to this episode and for continuing to support the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm. Please follow them on Instagram at FujifilmX_US. Again, that's at FujifilmX_US. Please tell all your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legends of Sport, and our Instagram at Legends of Sport. And of course, my photography can be found on Instagram at ADB Photo Inc. Big thanks as always to our producer, Carlin Barker, and our editors, Sean Gosser and Addison Shao, and our intern, Will Allen. Thanks again, everyone, for checking out this episode. We'll be back next week with another great episode on the Legends of Sport podcast presented by Fujifilm.